In this video, we will understand the concept of decision trees by looking at this visual approach. Suppose you have two features h1 and h2 and your data has two classes, class 0 with blue color and class 1 with orange color. And we are looking at an algorithm that can classify this data. A decision tree algorithm recursively uses some simple rules to partition the data into multiple regions. For example, for this data, the decision tree can use the value of x2, and based on that, it can split the data into two regions, right? So if x2 is less than or equal to point, that is the set of points falling in this region, then they will be placed in this left child. And if h2 is greater than 0.32, that is the points in this region will be placed in this child node. And as you see that the left child node is a pure node in the sense that all the data points in this node are of the same class, that is the orange class. So we don't have to split this left node any further. However, the right node has to be split further. So how is the decision tree algorithm designing these rules? What variable should it use to further split? So it can use x1 or x2, right? So the decision is taken based on which variable will make the child classes as pure as possible. By pure, I mean that most of the points should belong to one particular class. So if you see this, what do you think is a good variable to use such that the resulting child nodes will be as pure as possible? So we can use this x1 and try to set the threshold here, right? So that all the orange points will fall into a new child node. So the decision is which variable to choose, and once you decide which variable to choose, what is the right threshold to use. So the best choice at this node is you use h1 to decide, and if h1 is greater than 0.82, that is if the points fall in this region, they go to this child node, and if the points fall in this region, they go to this child node. So this is a very good split because this split has made one of the child nodes a pure node, that is all the points are of the same color. Now the decision tree has to again decide what is the variable to use here, whether it should use the h2 variable or the h1 variable to further split this node. You see that the algorithm has decided to split based on the h2 variable, and it has chosen the threshold here. Again, it makes sense, right? Because for this value of threshold h1 h2 equal to 0.69, all the points in this region belongs to the blue color, so this is a pure node. So the decision tree will recursively continue like this and keep splitting the nodes using one of the features and with the right thresholds such that the child nodes become as pure as possible. So you can keep doing this till a point where all the nodes are pure nodes. For example, in this node, there are points of both the colors, right? You can further split this node like this. So you could choose the h1 variable and take the threshold here, which is 0.18, and split this further. Again, this node can be split further by using the h1 variable again. So can draw a split here and split this further. So this is the final decision tree that we obtained using the algorithm. Once the decision tree is created, predicting the class of a new point is very easy. It is less than 0.32. You will immediately conclude that the class is orange. If the point has h2 greater than 0.32, then it will again check the further rules that we have laid down here. So it will recursively check these rules and finally arrive at the right prediction. So this is the concept of decision trees and how you can understand it visually.